Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. It's Thursday, March the 14th. Today is, of all things, National Potato Chip Day. National Pie Day. It's 314 because pi is 3.14, and then there's a big long bunch of other numbers that I don't know, but some people have them all memorized. If you haven't memorized, today's a big day for you. It's also National Learn About Butterflies Day, National Children's Crafts Day, National Write Down Your Story Day, and National Ag Day. So all of those things to celebrate. And we have a Dear John letter coming up later in the program. We're going to be talking about people who, this person who's dating someone who's a finicky eater. So your chance to chime in on Facebook about that right now if you'd like. All of those details at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show.
Do you have a pretty good sense of humor? You might like this. Early in the morning each day and every day, we share something weird to make people laugh at weirdgiftoftheday.com. You don't need to sign up for anything. You don't even need to spend a penny. Just follow the page on Facebook and get a smile to start each day when we share the weird gift of the day. Not on Facebook? That's okay. You can see the weird gifts on our website too. weirdgiftoftheday.com. That's weirdgiftoftheday.com.
Now, surveys and studies and such, brought to you by BetterCreditCards.net. London man, he has HIV, and this now, they recently cured him. He's the second person to be cured of the disease. So 2 people now. This story came out like a week ago, so maybe more by now. How cool is that?
That's very, very cool.
I think that's really neat. I've got a link to that story in the show notes if you'd like to read all about it at johnandheidishow.com. I remember when that was a brand new thing. And there are some people, like Magic Johnson has been HIV positive for a long time, but now there are people being cured. I think that is just a really, really cool thing. We've got your Brain on Drugs coming up. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
Is your credit card a good fit for you? How did you even get the card you have now? Was it mailed to you? Those are usually the worst cards. They typically have higher fees and rates. Someone has to pay all that postage to mail out millions of cards every day. If you like a better credit card, check out the website bettercreditcards.net. This is a great place to find the cards that are usually a better fit for you. Bettercreditcards.net. That's bettercreditcards.net.
And this is your Brain on Drugs, brought to you by TimeForRehab.com. The lead guitarist from the film School of Rock. Remember that movie?
I remember the movie.
He was recently arrested. This is like a week ago. I've had some of these stories for a while now. So he was arrested for felony charges when he stole a guitar and pawned said guitar. And it was a multi-county theft spree. And he was trying to get some dough for drugs.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah, Joseph Gatos is defendant in this case. And it's 4 separate grand theft cases where he went in and walked off with guitars.
A shame.
He was in the 2003 Jack Black movie, School of Rock, and now he's not doing so great. He stole an $800 Les Paul Epiphone guitar and a couple other things, starting back in like January and February is when all this stuff happened. So I've got a link to the story. That's just a sad, sad deal. I've got a link to that in the show notes at johnandheidishow.com. Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com. Captain Marvel took in $153 million in its debut weekend, and I know several people who went to that were super excited about it. So I think like many things...
I've read good things about it. I'm not a
fan,
huge superhero fan.
I think like many things, if you're a big fan of Captain Marvel, you're going to love it. If you're not, you probably won't. But I think that's really cool that they did well. Members of the band Queen are reportedly in talks to make a sequel to the film Bohemian Rhapsody. So I wonder what the sequel would be. I don't know. I don't really know. I think you kind of told
maybe
the story,
what they've
guys.
all been up to since then. I don't know.
I don't know that that's going to be a movie, but Bohemian Rhapsody did very, very, very well. So I'm not exactly sure what the sequel would be and what else needs to be said. I don't know. Maybe we'll see. Khloe Kardashian, she wore a skin-tight cat suit to a friend's birthday party in Vegas. End of story. That's the end of the story. Somehow that's
new how?
I don't know. That's weird. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
Here's a fun trip back to the 80s.
Surely you can't be serious.
Join us in Las Vegas for 80s in the Desert May 3rd and 4th. Hang out with other 80s bands.
International language of love.
Meet several 80s icons from the movies and rock out to awesome music from the 80s. Flock of Seagulls, The Romantics, Mr. Scandal with Patti Smythe, Thomas Dolby, Pretty Poison, and more. See the full list of bands and icons at radiotravelgroup.com. That's radiotravelgroup.com.
Now your scoop of the day brought to you by BetterCreditCards.net. Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg says the company's future will focus on private sharing instead of public. I'm not exactly sure what that means. Hopefully that's not sharing our private information. There are people who accuse them of that already. But I think
maybe
it means
they're switching to a porn site.
No, I don't think that's what they mean by private
They don't
sharing
mean that
either.
kind of
I
private?
sure hope not. But Facebook is going to focus, it says the company's future will focus on private sharing instead of public. So I don't know if that means where it would be like tighter groups, like it's basically just working in groups. Because I know there are things that, I'll see in groups, but you have to be a member of the group to see it. You think that's what private sharing is?
I have no idea.
I don't know either. It doesn't make a ton of sense to me. But I have a link if you want to read all about it. Financial analysts are warning that New York City could be on the brink of financial disaster because of the high tax rate and the runaway government spending. So get a link to that if you want to read all about it.
I'm not surprised by that at all.
No, I don't think so either.
And California is, I think, in the same boat.
Take a listen to this. A new survey found that homeless beggars in London are earning $260 a day panhandling. So that's kind of crazy. $260 a day? So if you go through and figure...
That's more than most working people.
So you take that times 5 days a week. If you're doing it 5 days, that's $1,000 a week. If you do that 52 weeks a year, that's $52,000.
Good Lord.
More than that, because $260 a day. So I don't know what that's in London. So if you're homeless and you're looking for a place to go panhandling, London
why
is...
are they still homeless if they're making that kind of cash?
Maybe they're not. That's just what the story says, Heidi. I don't know. A groom was arrested after starting a brawl at his beachfront wedding. So that's not good. Can you turn the ringer off on that?
I apologize.
Get her ringer
I did not know it was your sister messaging me.
Tell her I said hello. We'll all wait. No, we won't. Okay, a groom was arrested after starting a brawl at his beachfront wedding. So that's too bad. I don't know what happened there. I wonder what would make you want to start a brawl at your own wedding? I mean... Probably family stuff.
I don't know. Maybe an ex-boyfriend came to the wedding and it was
could be
not a welcome sight.
Here's a really weird story from a couple of days ago. A jaguar attacked a woman at an Arizona zoo because she jumped the fence to take a selfie with a jaguar. That is just so bizarre.
Those fences are there for a reason.
They're
there for your protection, not necessarily the animals.
Yeah.
So
it's like, I'm not going to
stay
hurt
on
the
your
jaguar.
side of the fence.
I wasn't going to hurt the jaguar. I can go over there. No, the jaguar is going to kill you. Because that's what jaguars do. That's why there is a fence. So who are these people who need selfies so badly that they put themselves in harm's way? We read a story about a couple who fell off a cliff and died taking a selfie. Yeah. I don't think any selfie is worth that much to anyone.
No.
Anybody who's following you on Instagram, I mean, you can get a selfie from a distance of that jaguar. You'll be just fine. You don't need to have one where you're cuddling because that's not going to happen.
That's not going to end well.
So it didn't end well. She got all ripped up. So that is just sad. Watchdog Group says North Korea is on the verge of testing a rocket at their nuclear site in Pyongyang. So that's not great. And then one last story here. And this is a weird story. An irate soccer fan ran onto the field. This is a fan, keep in mind, not a player. An irate soccer fan ran onto the field and punched a player in the face during a game in Birmingham, England. So
they get so worked up about that sport.
And they're the two sports that are most known for fighting are hockey and soccer. Can you imagine if they combine those two sports somehow? That would be, I mean, what would you call it?
Saki.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea what you call it, but maybe there's already field hockey. I think that's already a thing, isn't it? It's like
I don't know.
I think that is a thing. So imagine the brawls in the field hockey. I don't know if that's the same thing. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
Do you have IRS tax problems? Are they keeping you up at night? Afraid to open your own mail or even answer your telephone? If your tax problems are affecting your family life, you need to know you have options. You have rights, and we'll make sure you get them. Call and speak with Mike Habib, the tax expert who will handle your case at 877-78-TAXES or online at myirsTaxRelief.com. That's 877-78-TAXES or myirsTaxRelief.com.
And it's time now for
Dear John Letters.
Dear John, dear John.
All right, Heidi, I'm going to need your help with this one, and I think we have some interesting insight. Maybe not quite the same, but somewhat similar. So here we go. Dear John, I started dating a guy that I think is about 95% perfect for me. We have so many things in common, and we have many of the same interests. We have the same Catholic background. We both come from large families. One thing that I struggle with is his bizarre diet. I was raised to eat meat and potatoes, and have always liked cooking. He doesn't like most of the things I like when it comes to food. He doesn't eat meat. He doesn't make a big deal, though, if I want to, but he just doesn't like meat. He even said that he won't call himself a vegetarian because he has eaten meat, and he just chooses once in a while to eat it, but most of the time not. He doesn't really like meat. I'm trying to think what it would be like to live together if we got married. My sister said it would be a pretty petty reason to break up with this guy over this. What do you think? Do you think we could make a relationship like this work? Not sure how it would go. I'm looking for advice. Signed, should I stay or should I go? I always put those little names on there. We keep it anonymous, so we don't tell you who it is. So what do you think, Heidi? Our relationship's a little different. It's not that I don't eat meat. I don't like onions. I don't like tomatoes or peppers or many of the other things that you like. But we've been married now almost 20 years, and we've been able to make it work, right?
Yeah. Yeah, no.
She's saying right in here, he doesn't care if she eats meat. He just doesn't like it.
Wait until you're married, and they'll say, there's not going to be any meat in my house.
Hey, have I ever said no onions in our house?
Yeah.
No.
I've bought them to put them in roast, and you're like, what are you doing with this onion?
Yeah, I just don't
Why
want
is there an onion in the house?
I just don't want it in my food. You can eat all the onions you want.
And I do. I like
And
onions.
I just don't want to choose to eat them. So
No,
I
here's
think,
the thing. I mean, as long as this guy's not, singing Kumbaya and walking around in Birkenstocks, I think you're probably
would you
safe.
stop it?
It's not like he's going to go full blown,
Well, it says right in
hippie
here,
onion.
that and even if he does, if she's into that, then she's into that. Would you stop it, Heidi? When it comes to meat, he doesn't make a big deal of it. I know there are people who are vegan that you can't meet them without knowing that they're vegan because they'll tell you that right away. And if that's you and you're vegan, that's cool. I got nothing against that. But that is kind of a, what do you call it? A stereotype? Mm-hmm. Because it happens a lot. So it sounds like this dude, he's not a vegan. He's not a vegetarian. He just doesn't really like meat. And she really does. And she's wondering, can we make this work? I think you certainly can.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't start trying to change you. And if you work on him long enough, you'll be able to get him to come around.
Would you just stop
And
it?
if he likes it, sometimes he will eat it.
Well, and
He's got
here's-
to make the stuff that he likes. Like my stepsister only eats chicken.
Yeah.
So they make a lot of chicken at their house, but it's still
good.
meat. They get their protein and it's lean and it's good for you. So there you go. So find the kinds of meats that he does like and then just make a lot of recipes with that.
Here's the thing that I would do. I would also kind of examine what else is going on in a relationship. I understand. You just started dating the guy not too long ago. You think you're 95% compatible. Are there other things outside of this? Because to me, like your sister said, she thought that would be a pretty petty reason to leave somebody. I think I would feel the same way. I remember my brother was dating a girl. He quit dating her because he's like, I don't like her toes. I'm like, what? You're not perfect, dude. So her toes were weird. It's like at a certain point, you're going to find yourself very lonely if you're expecting perfection from somebody else.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to find that. There's nobody that's perfect. Heidi over here, she's awesome. She's not perfect. But you know what? She's perfect for me. So what are you laughing about?
Nothing.
I'm just saying, I'm not perfect either. I'm not even really necessarily perfect for you. But at least I know it. So, no, we, again, I think you can absolutely, if you want to make this work, I think you can make this work. And I would just have the conversation with him. If you just started dating and you're already wondering what's it going to be like to be married, you must kind of be into the dude or you wouldn't be thinking like that, would you?
Well, I think you always, from the very beginning, have to be thinking ahead. Like, okay, is this guy going to be an option? If not, why am I wasting my time?
There you
Life's
go.
too short. So if you don't feel like it's going to work, so much so that you're reaching out to two strangers on the radio, maybe it's time to walk away.
Hey, you know what? We are here to help, Heidi. Don't mock this. awesome outlet for intervention in people's lives. And if you've got a question you'd like her to make fun of next week, you can reach out to us with your question at johnandheidishow.com. You want to chime in on this one? It's on our Facebook page, facebook.com/JohnandHeidiShow.
Is your credit card a good fit for you? How did you even get the card you have now? Was it mailed to you? Those are usually the worst cards. They typically have higher fees and rates. Someone has to pay all that postage to mail out millions of cards every day. If you like a better credit card, check out the website bettercreditcards.net. This is a great place to find the cards that are usually a better fit for you. Bettercreditcards.net. That's bettercreditcards.net.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
A traffic jam once lasted 12 days. Can you imagine that? August of 2010, in Beijing, a traffic jam there lasted a dozen days, stretched 62 miles along the Beijing-Tibet Expressway and the China National Highway 110. Finally dissipated after authorities allowed more trucks to enter Beijing. The city has strict road space rationing laws. Around the clock, the trucking companies had to take alternate routes, so they would only let certain amount of vehicles in at a time. 62 miles long and a dozen days traffic jam. Can you imagine being in the middle of that? I'm on my way home, sweetie, really. I bought groceries. I had to eat them all while I was on my way. I think that would be terrible. That is a weird fun fact, but a traffic jam that lasted 12 days.
Here's a fun trip back to the 80s.
Surely you can't be serious.
Join us in Las Vegas for 80s in the Desert May 3rd and 4th. Hang out with other 80s bands.
International language of love.
Meet several 80s icons from the movies and rock out to awesome music from the 80s. Flock of Seagulls, The Romantics, Mr. Scandal with Patty Smythe, Thomas Dolby, Pretty Poison, and more. See the full list of bands and icons at radiotravelgroup.com. That's radiotravelgroup.com.
Now, fear this. Time for fun with phobias. Cheerophobia. Cherophobia. Cheerophobia. What do you think that would be? Any ideas?
No.
I love it when you just sit there and think quietly.
Well, I'm thinking. I'm sorry. I understand this is radio, so
translate well to radio. Just so you know.
I was thinking like maybe a fear of fruit.
No, that would be good. Like cherries. Or
Yeah.
something. No, cheerophobia is the fear of cheeriness.
But that's not spelled with two E's. It's
I
one
know.
E.
Cherophobia.
Because that was my first thought, but then I was like, okay, well, there's only one E, so that's not
Think
what
out
it
loud
is.
and help me, and then I can give you clues. That, yeah, you're onto that.
I don't want your clues.
Okay, well, stay clueless then. That came out wrong. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday.
Do you have a pretty good sense of humor? You might like this. Early in the morning each day and every day, we share something weird to make people laugh at weirdgiftoftheday.com. You don't need to sign up for anything. You don't even need to spend a penny. Just follow the page on Facebook and get a smile to start each day when we share the weird gift of the day. Not on Facebook? That's okay. You can see the weird gifts on our website too. weirdgiftoftheday.com. That's weirdgiftoftheday.com.
Now some weird news brought to you by weirdgiftoftheday.com. Police say a California man was caught on camera pouring diesel fuel onto his neighbor's house in an effort to burn a ghost out of the residence.
Oh,
Well,
that's
bet that's going to work.
nice.
In the video, he poured diesel onto the porch of a Stockton home, attempted to light it, but he never did get it to ignite. A woman and her 2 children were asleep inside the home. The man, who lives across the street, was quickly arrested after the family called the police. They say they arrested him, and he said he didn't have anything against us, but he thought there was a
What
ghost
the
in our
heck?
house. And to me, that's even scarier. The 38-year-old man, Quang Pham, was charged with arson and attempted murder.
Oh my gosh.
I got nothing against you guys. There was a ghost in that
There's
house.
a ghost in there. We'll wake the people up and get them out.
What about us? You were going
Yeah.
to burn us down with the ghost? Then there'd be more ghosts in this
Holy
house.
cow.
Yeah, that's a weird story. That's how that story landed right here in today's Weird News of the Day. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Now your moment of duh, brought to you by FunkyMonkeyShirts.com. 4 men tried to steal an ATM from Silver Springs, Maryland at a 7-Eleven in February. Turned out to be a little trickier than they thought. It says here there's a 2-minute surveillance video from this bungled burglary. It took place at 4 a.m. It shows the man with a pickup truck smashing backwards through a storefront. Then 3 of the stooges climbed over the debris and slowly but surely loaded this heavy machine onto the orange painted steel hand truck that they had brought. And says the would-be thieves then struggled with the ATM. One suspect appeared less than helpful, drawing a punch in the arm from another partner, encouraging to pitch in. Finally, the masked suspects get the cash-filled machine out the door. The ATM then fell off the hand truck onto one of the suspects. They realized their ride had gone. He took off.
Oh, boy.
At that point, the hapless thieves skedaddled, leaving the
That's a
ATM
shame.
in the parking lot, but returning for the hand truck shortly thereafter. So,
Wow.
yeah, that was not good. The getaway driver definitely got away, but you forgot all the guys that were with you.
Yeah. Well, he didn't forget. He didn't want to get caught. They were taking longer than he expected, and he was
Apparently
going to get the
not
heck
smart.
out of there.
It's today's moment of duh.
Is your credit card a good fit for you? How did you even get the card you have now? Was it mailed to you? Those are usually the worst cards. They typically have higher fees and rates. Someone has to pay all that postage to mail out millions of cards every day. If you like a better credit card, check out the website bettercreditcards.net. This is a great place to find the cards that are usually a better fit for you. Bettercreditcards.net. That's bettercreditcards.net.
Now, these three things. Heidi, what do these three things have in common? You might actually get this one, because they are three things. Okay.
All right.
I almost said the word. No. Chips,
Okay.
spears, and whole. They're all types of what? Think about a jar. Chips. You could also maybe say hamburger. Spears and whole. Pickles. They're all kinds of pickles. Because I've seen like hamburger, but they're chips. So pickle chips, pickle spears, and whole pickles. If I said dill, would that have helped?
Pickles.
It's it's how you get them, whole pickles. So there's some that are cut into chips, some that are spears, and some that are holes. I don't know what you're thinking.
All right.
And we're moving on. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and I think this is good news. It comes your way courtesy of radiotravelgroup.com. I'm getting it right now. I kept saying club before. radiotravelgroup.com. So if you went to that other thing that I was talking about, and if you reached out to them and you were wondering where in the world you can find the info for that Vegas thing, I was giving the wrong website. radiotravelgroup.com. All right, here we go. Here's the story. A library is giving away hundreds of free prom dresses to high schoolers that are trying to save their money for college.
Oh, really?
Isn't that a cool idea?
That is a cool
That
idea.
does make sense. Think about this. How many kids, they're getting ready to go to college, they're trying to save up money, and then you have this giant expense right before you graduate. I got to go get just the right tuxedo. I got to go get just the right prom dress and all this stuff. So this library said, hey, let's come up with a way to help them out. So I think this is a really neat thing. It says Dallas Public Library started giving away hundreds of free prom dresses to high school
Where
students.
did they get the dresses?
Well, let me tell you the story. It says they hosted their fairy tale closet program at their Texas locations, and students were encouraged to hunt through racks of free dresses, new and gently used formal wear. They were all donated by local residents and retail outlets.
Wow.
So it gave them the opportunity. They said, hey, if you've got stuff in your closet that you don't need, bring it in. We're going to help it find a new home.
Yeah.
And then they had some stores that had like some discontinued items that they weren't going to sell, last year's fashions.
Right.
So they put them out there and said, hey, here you go. We'll give them away. And they got a little bit of a deduction and everybody wins. So it's just a cool story. It's called a fairy tale closet. It's a way for the library to engage with teenagers.
That's fantastic.
And build a relationship among high school students. It encourages teens to take advantage of the library's resources and to see the library as a welcoming, safe space in their community. And something that I want to say, if you haven't been to your public library lately, you should check it out.
Oh my
It
gosh,
is
it's been
unbelievable.
ages since we've been into our library, and we
I just
really
think
should go more often.
And it's free.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of those things where people drive by them all the time and kind of just forget about all of the different tools that are available there.
I do
And
need to go back because I've been looking now for a really good book to read, and
There you go. Check it out.
yeah, I do. I need to go back in because
So,
why go buy it if you don't have to?
There you go. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. I've got a link to that story. It's in the good news section. You'll find that in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.